What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Realms of Metal. We've got a very special episode today. We've got the one and only Francis Howard from Opprobrium joining us. Thank you so much. It's an honor to meet you and talk to you. Like I
Thank you
told you
very
before the
much,
video,
man.
I'm a lifelong fan. You know, I picked this up when I was 15 years old,
Oh yeah, I remember that when that came out.
and it blew my doors off. Not only me, but my friends too.
Awesome, man.
Welcome to the channel. It's again honored
Thank you
to
very
have you.
much.
Appreciate you
And
coming on.
when you showed me that album, it brought me a lot of memories too.
Yeah, right.
For the beginning of Beyond the Unknown, like like it's very hard to explain how it was back then if you didn't live it. Uh, that album, Self Temptation, Beyond the Unknown, I wrote without it just came naturally. Like I explained earlier, my style was brutal from the
Right.
beginning, so it just came naturally. And I was always searching for riffs. You know, we had a little cassette recorder, a tape recorder, had to record the riff with the
Right.
little. I used to have a little gorilla amp. I don't know if you remember the gorilla amp.
I do remember those. Yeah.
That was the main thing back then, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of things that went behind the scenes on that album, not just the recording of it, but the making of it too. Like, you know, it took me a while. I'm very picky on my riffs. Like I'm always searching for that special riff that has emotion, and always stay original with our own sound, you know.
I could
Not
tell. You know
deviate
why?
from
You know
this
how I
and
could
that, you
tell,
know.
Francis? Because you've never written a bad track in your life.
Thanks, man.
They're all good.
As a matter of fact, we're working on a new album right now.
I was going to get to that. I definitely
My
want to. I
bad,
was
my
definitely
bad,
going to
man.
ask you guys about that because I'm excited myself. I kind of thought that you were right.
Yeah, we are.
Mark is back
Still
with
at
you
it.
guys.
Yeah, Mark is back.
Yep.
But the thing with Mark, he's gonna be moving to Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Yeah, we moving to Switzerland. So he might be able to do a couple of shows with us. But eventually, we're gonna have to look for another bass player because of the distance.
Gotcha.
So he had to make some life choices and
Right.
go with his family that way, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah. So
But
anybody who's not familiar with Opprobrium or Incubus, can you just take us
uh-huh,
back to the beginning when you and your brother are from Brazil? I know that.
yeah.
When did you move to the States? When did you start Incubus? Just give us a brief history lesson in case they don't know out there.
We moved to the States back in '81, and we started liking music by watching music videos from MTV back then. And from there, we just researched the instruments that we liked. Mostly liked the drum, I liked the guitar, and we kept just researching. And that journey led us into like heavy metal music back then and punk rock music.
Right.
You know, it was very popular on the college radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to stay like all night, just listen to the radio, listen to punk music,
Like Ramones and
rock
stuff?
music. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like you know, bands like from back then, like Corrosion Conformity and stuff
There
like
you
that.
go. Yeah. DRI, like
Yeah,
old
man.
hardcore punk kind of
Saint
stuff.
Fire. I think they had a Saint Virus or something like that.
Yeah.
And so from those styles, I began to notice that my style was very brutal. I couldn't play punk. I couldn't play metal, heavy metal. I noticed that my style sounded easier. It became easy to write with the heavy metal, like the early days of death metal. You know, in
Right,
the
right.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, and like I like the way the guitar sound like in your face, the details it show. While in heavy metal, it was kind of in the background a little bit.
Right.
You know, so that made me very happy to start a search on that type of music. You know, that
Right.
we play now.
Were you influenced by, like early death, like Mantis, like the Mantis stuff, or even Possessed, like Seven Churches, that kind of stuff?
Not, I like the bands. You know, I like the bands, but I don't let it influence me. I always like to be original
Right.
and stick to my own sound.
Yep.
And I'm like I told you earlier, I'm very picky on my guitar riffs.
Right.
And if I notice something sounds like, oh, it might sound like so and so, I change it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so I always try to stay original. But the only thing that influenced me was the know-how that these guys in the beginning, from like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth,
Mhm.
Dark Angel, eh, they had their set up together. So I said, man, I want to do the same thing too. Like, it was just a couple years away from them in a
Right.
way. So that's when we started doing the Supernatural Death demo tape.
Right.
We recorded it in a low budget studio. Back then, the recording, you had to go to a studio most of the time. It was more expensive
I
too.
know. Yeah.
So then we did the Supernatural Death demo. Then we started the demo. Even for tour too. When we had the Serpentation out, we traded albums together, T-shirts.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, back then there was no internet.
I know. I know. You know,
There's only like
we
telephone.
we we bought records just based on the album cover. You know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for real. And discover how if it sounded good or not.
Yeah.
Then we back then, like, we had to get those international phone cards,
Yeah. Yeah.
make a call, and they had fax machine, all that old stuff, man.
I've been so lucky enough to get a lot of bands on here that I grew up listening to. Like I
Awesome.
had Morbid Jim from Morbid Saint on. Spectrum
Uh-huh.
of Death is a brilliant record for me. This is also one of those brilliant records for me. Like, to me, it's a cult classic. I mean, this is what, 34 years old now. I mean, do you look at this
Yeah, dude.
record 34 years old and say, that really was a cult classic that we did? How do you look back on this record now?
Man, when we did that album, we were so well. We used to from Louisiana, we moved to Tampa because the Tampa was the death metal
The
scene
big
back in the
scene,
day.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so all the bands wanted to be in Tampa. All the labels were looking at Tampa.
Right.
So we moved to Tampa from Louisiana, and that album, man, that recording, we were we were so well rehearsed, man. Like, maybe we had a couple takes, or I think on the song, if I'm not mistaken, on the burial ground,
Uh-huh.
like the middle most had to do the drums again, like he messed up, but the rest of the album just flew like
Oh,
naturally.
really? Yeah. Like, it's such
Yeah,
a
dude.
brutal record, man. It's so good.
And plus, we had a studio budget back then. And Nuka Blast was a unknown label back then.
Right.
It's not like now they big now. They respectful now. So we
Like,
took a chance with them, and just took off on the same, man.
yeah, this is one of my favorite records ever. And this is my first record that I bought from you guys. And then I went back and bought Serpent Temptation. And
Uh-huh.
again, super solid record. Every song is good. Like,
Yeah.
here you go. Here you go. Well, this is one of the reissues I got. But
Is that from High Roller, right?
this
Or
is a relapse reissue.
Oh, that's awesome too, man. You got a good one there.
But I just, off your Bandcamp, I just bought this. This was a 96 reissue that I just
Yeah.
got from you guys off your Bandcamp. This is numbered picture disc. And this is the
Uh-huh.
one where
I sang, yeah.
you sing on this one. So
Yeah, that was a crazy project that Moses and I just decided to do,
yeah.
like an alternate version of it, like a different universe, like a what if.
Yeah. And then I did order the vinyl from your Bandcamp a while ago, probably, probably a year and a half ago now. I had to have that because it's one of my favorite records ever. The only thing that I don't have from you guys physically is Mandatory Evac. I just got the download of that because I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah. We try to we wanna we're trying to get a label to release it right now. But I'm so busy writing the new album, I haven't had time.
Yeah.
But on this Serpent Temptation, this one from High Roller.
High Roller does a great job. They really do.
I really like this release also because it has like small different features.
Yep.
Also, but every release that we do, like even from back in the days, even the CD you just held, we did it with love and everything that we had to back it up.
It shows. It shows. So for everybody who don't know, you guys started as Incubus. You changed your name to Opprobrium in the late 90s. I know that there were a lot of other bands called Incubus, and you probably didn't even know that at the time, like you were saying.
We didn't know they had other bands with names.
Was it pressure from that big alternative rock band that made you change? The alternative rock Incubus? Or
yeah, that's
the
the only reason we had to change because of legal reasons. So
right.
that's and I went search for a name. It was a struggle because if you notice, a lot of new bands now they have like crazy names. Because if you look at the dictionary, all the names are taken.
I know.
You know, and I lucked out getting Opprobrium, man. you know,
You
but
look up in the metal archives, and there's like 15 bands called Incubus. I just got turned on to another band called Incubus that were from Florida not too long ago. That they only put out like one demo, but they never put out an actual record. There was another one from Florida that I found.
they have one I think from Australia, I
Yeah,
believe.
right. And there were a couple from Brazil. You and two other ones, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that one from Brazil. But like I was saying, like back then, everything was isolated, man. Everything was just local, the local scene only,
Yep.
Just like the metal bands from Cali, the metal bands from Louisiana, from Florida, But once the internet came out, a lot of people started just, oh, they had this, they had that. But before back then, you just took a chance and do your own thing.
Right, gotcha.
But we had to change the name for legal reasons.
Right. So your songwriting process, you obviously come up with the riffs. You everything is derived from the riff from you. Come up with the riff, and then everything else follows.
Yes, and at the same time, I get like inputs from Moses, like the speed that he wants to play, how heavy. He wants to try out different speeds, different drum techniques, and I try to mold that with it too. You got to be fluid with it. You might have a riff, but you might have to take that riff out and put another one. It's like a puzzle, but eventually the song works out in the end. You just gotta give it time and
just give it a feel it out and kind of see what works between you and
one. Yeah.
Cool.
That's a cool show you got right there, man. Sepultura.
I was going to ask you about this because you actually appeared on this record, right? You did backing vocals on "Stronger Than Hate."
Yeah, there was Max. We used to communicate with each other back then via phone or through letters. Had to mail like letters. And he said he was going to record in Florida, and I used to live in Louisiana. I said, "All right, man, we're going to go and check you guys out so we can meet."
Right.
So there were those. Max was, young like us back then, So we had a couple drinks and we chatted, and then he invited us to out of just no reason. Hey man, you want to sing? And I was invited to sing, and Scott was also, and that was the first time that I've kind of noticed that I could sing. Like you just
yep.
I could hear my vocal on a backing vocals of that album, and and that kind of sparked for me to change the vocals of the band a little bit.
So being on that track, that kind of set you up to sing on this one, pretty much.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's great. That's great.
I don't know why Max invited me to do the backing vocals. I wasn't the singer, but I was there, man.
Both of these records were such life changers for me. They really were.
They're classics, and they got history classics behind it,
right? And then you also did backing vocals on "Eating Back to Life" from Cannibal Corpse, right?
Yeah. That one we live in Tampa, and we got a call from Scott Burns, the engineer, saying that Cannibal Corpse he wanted us to go to the studio and do some backing vocals.
That's great.
So it was like doing like 3 in the afternoon. Say, all right, man, we'll be there like in a couple hours. We used to live close to the studio, the Morrisound.
Right.
So drive wise was like maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm sure that scene was buzzing back then. Like I ask everybody who's around that Florida scene, like how the scene was. I mean, that had to be some time with all those bands coming up. I mean,
yeah, man, it was crazy. And the funny thing is, back in the days, we rented a warehouse to rehearse in Tampa, and the only bands that was playing there was us and Iced Earth.
Iced Earth, yeah, they were a Florida band.
They're like waiting in the back. They just kept in their own world. And then a lot of other bands started showing up after we told Morbid Angel about it.
Right.
And Morbid Angel decided to move to a different unit, but on the same location. Right. And then other bands started showing up. Pretty soon there was like a whole bunch of bands in there, dude.
That's a crazy scene. I love
Yeah,
hearing those old stories too.
yeah. It was, we had to rent like a two double storage
Yes.
units. Install the lights and the acoustics of it.
I go on with
You
Vincent
know,
Crowley a lot. Did you know Vincent Crowley back in the day too?
no, no.
He was in
I'm
Nocturnus. I think he was in
oh
Nocturnus
yeah,
back then.
the drummer, right?
Was he drummer?
I know the drummer
Oh, you're talking
on
about Mike
Nocturnal.
Browning.
Yeah, Mike Brown. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
Mike
okay,
Brown. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, but I've heard stories from
yeah.
those guys on his channel from back in the scene, and I've seen
Uh,
pictures of like Morbid Angel like in front of those storage units, which I think that's so cool
I
to
think
see all
Mike
that stuff.
Brown. I think he had his own studio, like a garage in his house or something.
Right.
He used to pass by and say hello once in a while.
Yeah.
And a lot of fans used to pass by too, like say hello.
Yeah.
A lot of fanzines.
Right.
Back then was on paper.
Yeah.
Fanzine magazines and stuff
Now
like
you
that.
you were saying in the beginning, I forget if we got it on the video or not. You were influenced by a lot of like the punk, hardcore punk in the early '80s. Is
Punk
that
with
what
heavy metal, yeah.
is
Punk
that
with
what
heavy
kind of
metal.
shaped your sound between that and then the thrash bands that came out in the early '80s? Like,
In a way, the the mixture of both created the brutality of our songs. But the main band, believe it or not, is kind of crazy, that influenced us in a way of technique arrangements was Rush, man.
Rush. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Moses always dig Newport
Yeah.
drumming,
Uh-huh.
and I used to like Alex Life's playing. So we took like how they wrote a lot of the song structure, like we studied with like a science in a way,
Right.
and to do it in our own way, but
Right.
different, but in our own way.
Now you were always labeled as a death thrash band. I mean, do you agree with
Yeah,
that? Or
yeah.
do you think you were more thrash than death metal, or how do you feel about that label?
I think, in my opinion, I think we're more trash,
I think so too.
but Moises, he thinks it's both. So to each his own, I guess.
I can see how you go either way, but I always viewed you as more of a thrash band,
Yeah, yeah,
like the Demolition
yeah. Because you
Hammer.
got the mosh in it and everything in it, like
Exactly, yeah, like mosh parts and all that
yeah,
stuff. That's how I was kind
yeah,
of viewed
yeah,
you.
yeah.
So you are working on new stuff. I was going to ask you about that. I'm excited to hear that you are working on new stuff. What can you tell us about it so far?
Man, on this new album, I think I'm having more freedom to explore more sounds in a way.
Right.
Still staying brutal, you know.
Yeah.
But we got 10 songs down already,
Yeah.
and I'm working on the leaves right now, the
Gotcha.
solo, which I like doing it. Uh, but it's coming out different, but but it's our style, but it's different, and it's I like the songs, man. I
I
enjoy
can't wait to hear
listening
it.
to them,
I can't wait to hear it.
which is rare. A lot of bands write the songs, they don't like listening to it.
Right. Yeah.
Some bands, but I really enjoy it, and it's coming out very. I can't say too much because
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it,
No, no, no. I don't want you to spoil anything. So
but thumbs up, man.
yeah.
That's all I gotta say. You know.
So I know you're writing now. Do you tour? Like, do you get shows here or there and do off
We're
shows?
working
Or?
on that right now. We're working
Okay.
with some booking agents, but we had some booking agents before, but the offer wasn't what we were looking for.
Right.
Because we have to in the beginning now we have to organize a personal life and a music life too.
Yeah.
So it has to be balanced, uh, and hopefully we can get to the point that we can do just like the music.
Yeah.
But we gotta take slow steps, and hopefully we might be playing in Asia and Europe. We got some booking agents working on it, and maybe South America. They got some
Right.
booking agents. So
Right.
everything's up in the air. But once something is concrete, we're going to post it and let the fans.
I can't wait for that. Is it going to be with High Roller or can you say?
The new album.
Yeah.
Mm,
If you can't say, then don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Top secret, man. Area 51.
So I'm excited. Now, how can you know what? I just want to tackle lyrically with you. Do you write all the lyrics to all the records?
in the beginning it was like Scott, me, and Moises.
Right.
Beginning, and then after that was just me and Moises. So we kind of on Mandatory Vac. I wrote, I think most of it
Right.
myself. That was the only album that I wrote most of the lyrics. But we shared a couple songs with each other. Like he picks one song, I pick this song,
Yeah.
and sometimes we just do the lyrics together.
Yeah.
You know, it comes out faster that way and better in a way. But
You guys do touch on a lot of dark subjects and like, subjects that maybe you wouldn't think you would. Like
yeah,
songs like I
a lot of
pictured
paranormal.
Massacre of the Unborn, so I mean that's that resonates right now is what's going on in the world right now. Like
Yeah.
how do you see the world right now? I mean, are we fucked? I mean, where are we going here?
Well, I don't want to talk about religion or politics
Yeah,
because that creates a never ending
I know.
search, you know.
Yeah.
But it's different, man.
You're gonna say
That's
like
all I
that.
gotta say, you know.
There's probably
I'll leave it at that, you know.
there's probably a lot of good fuel for writing lyrics right now, I'm sure, right?
Yeah. But with this the thing about this AI thing right now with people saying that AI is gonna write music. It might write music, but it won't have the soul,
It
man.
won't have the soul. I agree
It won't
100%.
have the soul. That's I think each creation has a power to create something,
Right.
you know. So I think it's gonna separate the. But yeah, it's a strange new world, man. You know.
So where can the fans find you? I know you have the Bandcamp. We got great stuff on your Bandcamp, by the way. We can find you on Facebook. We can find you on Instagram. Are you on Spotify as well?
Yeah, we're on Spotify. We're big on Spotify.
Spotify.
They can listen to our songs on Spotify in all digital stores worldwide.
Yep.
You know, and we're there, man. You just
Yep.
gotta look for OPP.
Is there anywhere else where the fans can buy your merch besides the Bandcamp, or is that pretty much it?
For now, Bandcamp, but we don't know if it's worth building a website right now
Yeah.
because there's so many options,
Yeah.
and we just maybe we might open a website, you know.
You know what?
But
You can do
it's
those
an idea, but I don't
e-commerce.
think it's worth it right now.
You can do those e-commerce websites for like $40 a month, and you
Yeah,
can design
yeah.
your own website and put your own stuff there. So
But the
something
thing is that we got to keep up with the social media and at the same time music and personal life.
right.
So the more website,
I
the
know.
more headache, you know. But eventually, we got to get a website going, man.
Right. Yeah.
But we're not rushing right now. We just focus on the new album and these shows that we're trying to organize,
Right.
play live again.
I'm excited. So you think maybe the end of this year, early 2025? What are you thinking for a new
I
record?
mean, the end of this year we had a festival, it got postponed, and but I think this year something's gonna happen.
Okay.
But it's not up to us; it's up to the booking agent, the clubs.
Yep.
We got a deal, like see, you know how much money they're gonna make, how much money we're gonna make.
Yep.
You know, and plus organize the trip, the airplane tickets, all that. Everything has to be organized to make it happen. It's not just playing live. There's a lot of things that goes behind the scenes.
How about for the new record? You think early 2025?
Yeah, man, I think
About
so.
that? Okay.
I think it'll be done this year though, because once I finish the solos, the leads, I'm gonna start working on the lyrics. Moses and I.
Yep.
And we want to write lyrics of something like a different. We're gonna take a different direction now a little bit, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
On our lyrics.
Okay. I really appreciate you coming on, Francis. Is there anything else you want to leave the fans with before we end this thing?
First of all, subscribe to your channel, man. You got a growing channel that you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
You have a lot of potential to get the scene together, and the fans like that. You know, the interaction.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm a fan. I do this for the fun. I do it to meet guys like you. You know, I have met some.
We're all fans in a way. You know, we're all fans of bands and movies. You know, like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just I want to thank the fans for liking our songs. You know, and and get ready. We're working on this new album right now, and we mean business, man. When we put out an album,
I'm excited.
it has to be good.
Yeah.
I have that stamp of approval.
So I can't wait. And one thing I just want to tell you is that, you know, I am a huge fan of Opprobrium and everything that you guys have done. And I appreciate from the heart what you guys do. So, I mean, thank you for doing it for all these years. Like, these records, like I said in the beginning, are like the backdrop to our lives. They're there with us through the good and the bad. I have so many good memories.
We play a lot of those songs live too, like, you know.
Yeah. I have so many good memories of this record, and I still listen to it, you know, all the time, you know. So I thank you for that. And, you know, from a fan standpoint, it's from the heart. So
awesome. And thanks for the interview, and big hello to all the fans, all you fans, and thanks for the opportunity to be on your channel.
Thank you so much for coming on. Francis Howard from Opprobrium, man. Check them out. If you're not familiar, go check out those records. You're going to love them. Go on their Bandcamp, buy some merch. You know, find them on social media. You're going to love it, I'm telling you. So this is Realms of Metal signing out. Opprobrium signing out. We'll see you again soon.